The Maharajas who ruled this place also ruled Kodungalur. So the tradition they had started in Kodungalur is the tradition of tolerance, where all sections of people who came from different lands, because it was a spice trade center. People from all over the world used to come to Kodungalur to trade. And the Maharajas who ruled for generations Cochin, they permitted these people to settle down in those places. And if you go to the Jewish synagogue in Cochin, you can see the copper plates, 3 copper plates on which they have given that was the type of deed they used to give in those days, in which they have said that you can live here and prosper in peace as long as the earth and the moon exist. So this sort of document they have given to all the communities. You go to the Konkani community or the Gujarati community. So all these trading communities from Kodungalur started migrating to Kochi. Today we have 13 major settlements and 2 small settlements, 15 communities, ethnic settlements in different parts of Fort Cochin and Kottayanthi. And these 15 ethnic settlements are unique in their own ways. Their religious rituals, their cultural habits, their food habits, their dress, their language they speak, each one is different. 2 additional, most of the places, if you go to Calicut also, you see all these settlement patterns now, even in a smaller scale. But here you can see even the European settlement as well as the Jewish settlement, which is absent in many other places. All these voyagers coming from all over the world. Maybe 70% of the people of these sailors used to perish at sea or in this alien land because the climate was not congenial to them. But in spite of that, they kept on coming from China, Arabia. Europe was like that. All these people came here. That's how the trade prospered. And when trade prospered, the Europeans, they wanted many other products in Europe that was in demand in Europe. But fortunately for us and unfortunately for them, those products would not grow in their climate. So they brought these products and tested here because this was a very strong and very welcoming foothold they had here. Not only the Maharaja, the people were also very welcoming of these things. Otherwise, when the Europeans went into the hills to plant all these things, they were welcome there. They were not chased away. If those people in those days wanted, they could have chased away easily these Europeans. That's one facet of Cochin that gives a very different aspect of society that is not seen anywhere in India. Everywhere the visitors were seen as enemies or feared. So here it was a different context. They went there, these Europeans, they started these plantations. All these products that you see today, many of the products and many of the mainstays of our economy, the plantation sector, our agriculture is mainly plantation. We don't have a seasonal crop agriculture. And all these plantations were introduced during the European contacts, planted, perfected, and this trade also was made possible. Even the birds, what I am the kasera, the chair we sit here, in Malayalam we call it the kasera, which is a Portuguese word. The table is we call it a mesha, that is a Portuguese word. This is a janela, that's a window, is a Portuguese word. Almira is a Portuguese word. Nearly 300 words that we daily use here, copa and so many things. Anything you say is a Portuguese word because the Portuguese were the first to come here. That also shows us one thing, that in spite of the possibility or in spite of the fact that many other societies have discovered or invented their own words for these things. Whereas in Kerala, in Cochin, we just absorb that word into our lexicon. See, each community has got its own strengths and weaknesses. Each community does a specific job. You look at the Konkani community and the Muslim community, they are all traders. The Konkani is the banker. They are wonderfully good at banking. And the Gujarati is a trader, and the Kochi Memon is a trader. Big trader. They do trades in crores. Because they are there, the big trade takes place and the small trader is here. Small trade is done by other communities. The big trade is done by, over the phone they will do crores of business. It's unimaginable for anybody else. The major cooperative banks which deals in hundreds of crores is operated by the companies, which is a very small community. They have membership up to 30,000 members and all those things. Maybe 4,000 members will be a company. But in spite of that, every time only they will be interested to run the bank. Every 5 years the election is there and these people will come back. Nobody has ever thought that we should be a majority and we should come because they have they are bankers to the core. Even if you want to get some employee or if you want to do you want an accountant, you will say we will get a company or a Tamil Brahmin. Everybody, if you want, if you are a trader and you want your products to be traded and this thing, then you will say we will entrust it to a Muslim. Because without contract, without writing anything, he will give you lakhs of rupees. The Hindus and the Christians, mainly Latin Christians, are all workers, artisans. The mosque is built, the Gujarati temple is built, the Jain temple is built, the Jewish synagogue is built by the Christians and the Hindus. The fishing and all those activities are done by the Christians predominantly and some Hindus. But all the selling is done by the Muslims. So it is interesting, on Ramzan the Christian doesn't go to fish. If you meet a Christian on the road, he will say, today is Ramzan, so I am not going. You will be stunned. What Christians also started celebrating Ramzan, you may think. No, because there is no fish seller. The merchant is not there. If you bring him, catches him on the Christmas day, the Muslim doesn't go to sell because there is no Christian going to fish. These usages are also there. This fellow has got a Jewish head, brain. This fellow has got a Brendan head. There's a Brendan boatyard where they were making ships. That was the first major workshop. So all these people who are considered genius, they used to work there. Even today in Malayalam, we use all these words, even in our literature, daily language. We say this fellow is brilliant. We say it's got a Brendan head. Brendan Thalend. Or if you have a little lot of taking a different term, you say Judante Buddhiyananu. You know, if he finds a solution which is totally different from what you could ever imagine. All the communities have got their own strengths, in which if you go deep, these run generations. All the grading of spices and processing, everything is done by Christian and Hindu communities. Nobody else operates in that. And the build farm also, if you go through this thing, you go to the Muslim community area, the Malabari Muslim area. There is only one road in that area and 14 by-lanes. Just next to that area is the European area where every house has got a front road. Here there is only one road. That is a type of construction that you see in the deserts where if there is a desert storm or a sandstorm, the road will act as a wind tunnel. And because the Muslim community is not so outgoing, especially women, in those days, they need not come out in the main road. It's all in the by-lanes. If you go inside the by-lane, it's a beehive of activity. There is a mosque and market and that and this and everything is there. But if you look from the outside, it is some sort of a single road. You won't have any view of what is happening inside. If you go to the Tamil Ram area, you can see the agraharams, the row houses, which may not be suitable for the climate here, the hot humid climate here. Or if you go to the Konkani area, or the Jewish area, or the European area, you see the big hall will be there in all these European area, which is now the Anglo-Indian area we call it. But they have more social life. Socializing is very important for the European and Anglo-Indian community. So cultures influence their architecture. Maybe it did not happen here, but they brought this architecture from the land they came from. Similarly, the food habits also. All these communities that came here, we today, if you, National Geographic was good enough to say that we have the world's best breakfast. But ultimately, if you look at the table, none of those items on the table have a Malayali touch. Idli, vada, dosha, all those things, we don't even have any black gram plantation in Kerala. It doesn't grow here. If you take the jalebi and the gatia and all those things that the Gujaratis use. Similarly, it is dal. It doesn't grow anywhere here. Then if you puttu, appam, all those things that the Portuguese introduced here for their slaves and their army. That has become the mainstay. All the communities use all these things. Biryani, the Muslim biryani and halwa and all those things that the Arabs brought here. Now, if your son passes an exam, what you give us a laddu, and if you invite somebody for dinner or a celebration, you have a biryani. Whatever sort of So all these things were brought in through different communities coming into this place. All these influences were very well received here. If you want to have very good baked items, you will just say we will go to town. Town is the old fort area. That is where the Europeans were. That's where the Anglo-Indians were. So you get all the in baked items. It is the ultimate. If you want to have a good dosha and masala dosha, you will say we will go to Palace Road. Without realizing that it is because the Tamil community is there and they are the people who brought masala dosha here and all the doshas here. They brought their food habits. Even the festivals, if you look, every day there is a festival going on. Those festivals may not be relevant to Cochin or to Kerala. The Tamil festival of the sowing. That happens at a time where if you sow in Kerala, it's in summer. But they do it in memory of the land they came from. From Tamil Nadu, at the time of sowing, they keep all these seeds in the temple. They sprout it. Then they have their celebration prayers and all those things for chanting for 1 week. Then they take it to the sea and in a procession. Everybody joins the procession, other communities also join, but then nobody realizes that this is a festival of sowing festival and this is a harvest festival of the Tamilians. But everybody celebrates it. Similarly, all the festivals have relevance to the land they came from. That is a connecting link. Some of the shocks that went in through society was the religious items. Because the Maharajas were welcoming, they permitted any community to build a temple or mosque or preach. In fact, Roman Catholicism and Protestantism and all were preached in the East, openly preached in this 1 square mile of a place. These are all very important milestones that show the markers that show the tolerance and the absorb the culture of a people. Vast number of people they converted were belong to the so-called lower caste, which the Hindu community was not accepting in those days. But when the day they got converted, they could stand up before any higher caste person and as equal. That when the shock wave through this, the whole strata of different layers of community, and it influenced the opening of the temples and the cultural low caste absorption in those days. These different sects, wave after wave, they came, and they were all settled here in one place or the other. And all these people have lived in harmony, one way or the other, contributed to the development of this place and the culture of this place. That is one salient feature of Cochin that you have to mark out, is that we were welcoming not only of the settlements that came here, but all the other aspects of culture, language, food, dress, or everything that was taken here. 100 years ago we had beauty parlors here. Now the beauty parlor was something, nobody would ever imagine having a beauty. Now it is a common thing, any village road you have a beauty parlor. Then you have beauty parlors. Even now we have places where you teach European dancing and all those things. That's only in this place you can see all these Navy people and they come and learn. I mean to say, all those things that you see today as our own have evolved through the centuries. Even the freedom struggle days, wearing trousers and shirt and all these things was alien to. We thought it is something wrong to do. So it's very interesting if you put all these things in context. Local society doesn't think of putting all these things in context. These are all qualities that have been there for generations, and you won't find it. It cannot be copied to any other social situation. So these are high points that you have to highlight. Nobody ever has said that the Gujarati should go away from him. He is making millions. Next to him is the headlord worker staying next to his house, who works in his thing, and he is making millions. And this fellow, nobody has ever thought that these are the people who are creating problems. They should go away. No, this place keeps going because of all these people are here, and each people has got their own contributions to make. They keep on making their contributions within their limited situation. Everywhere in India there are problems. Here also there are. I don't say that there is nothing, but then there are undercurrents here. But it has not come to the fore in such a big way as to destroy this place.